Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves. We are coming to you live today, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to be talking to you. Today is Monday, July the 22nd, 2024, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in, come on in, come on in. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? Um, It's been a long time since I talked to you. I think it's been 2 or 3 days, but we are back. We have an exciting show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk to you about something very important, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to talk about self. We are going to talk about you and I and self, and we are going to talk about something that's very important. Something that it's the foundation for getting success. Um, you know, however you want to slice it, ladies and gents, however you want to, you know, no, you could tell yourself 100 times that you're going to be successful. You can chant it, you can scream it, you can shout it from the mountaintop. You can learn all the techniques. You can read all the books. But deep down, if you don't just have a full on, if you just if you just do not believe it, it will never happen. You can stand on your head, you can do anything until the cows come home, and it will not happen. Okay, and I just want to put that out there. I just want to put that out there. If you do not believe, if you have any kind of doubt, any, we listen. The most important thing you can do is just go for it. The most sorry about that. The most important thing you can do is just flat out go for it. Okay? There's no, maybe, there's no I think, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna dip my toe. Full force, okay? I'll give you an example. I remember once when I was in the Navy, and we had to just dive off we had a swimming thing, because being in the Navy, it's very important that you know the basics of swimming. So I remember I talked to my uncle. My uncle told me, and I was like, man, I'm thinking about joining the Navy, but I might go to the Air Force because I don't know how to swim. And my uncle said, man, I've been in the Navy for 20 years now. Sir, I do not know how to swim. You can do it. And I said, oh, you don't know how to swim? He said, no. I said, oh, okay, cool. I said, well, the Navy I go. So I went to the Navy, and then we had a class, and they said, hey, if you don't know how to swim, stand over here, and eventually we're going to do something for you, okay? And so, I went to the side, and then they said, all right, this is what we're going to do. We had to have everybody jump into the pool. So all of you that do not know how to swim, you are going to dive off the platform. I think it was like 10 or 15 feet, something like that. It was, in my estimation, in my eyes, it was a long time ago. It was almost 20 years. Hold on, long. It was 20, probably 20, 25 years ago, 26, something like that. It was a long time ago. Okay. And so it was a long time ago. And to me, it seemed like 100 feet. Okay. It seemed like 100 feet, but it was high. Okay. And they said, just dive off. We're going to grab you, and that you're going to fail. And you had to come back and take the remedial swim class. I said, okay. I remember I was like, oh, shit. I was like, damn, I got to do this. I said, this is ridiculous. And I remember I was climbing up, and they're like, come on, and you're climbing up this ladder, and it's like, what the did I sign up for? What did I get myself into? Why am I climbing up this big ass, ladder? And it just so happened that it just hit me. I'm like, "Phew, well, ain't no turning back. Whatever." And then I thought to myself, I remember when I was in high school, for some odd reason, I jumped off a roof, and didn't break my ankles. Thank God. And I thought to myself, diving off a roof is dumb. And I said, well, why not? I can dive off this. This is. Then I remember I looked at the guy and I said, hey, are you gonna pull me out of this thing? Immediately they said immediately. I said, "Woo, thank you." And I went on and dove, whoosh, and then I hit the water, and I was like, Shh. Excuse my language, but I said shit, and and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so they grabbed me, and I failed. I had to go back to the remedial. Went and learned how to, stay afloat. Die. Get in the water. I passed the test. Whatever. After a few days, and it just went to show me that no matter what you don't think you can do it. And also, if you don't have because listen, I could have said, man, I'm not doing this, but it's one of those things. It's like, man, F it. And sometimes as we get older, we think, I can't do this. I can't start over. I can't do this. I can't do that. But it's amazing what you can do when you just put your mind to it, and you have the full belief. If you just believe, it's like, man, I can do whatever. Okay. And so, ladies and gents, you have the capabilities no matter what anybody tells you. Do not listen. This is why, to me, in my opinion, I don't tell people, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I just start. And so it's not a big, I don't, it's it's easy to make a grand announcement. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's harder to actually do the thing. There's a lot of people playing business, and there's very few people that are in business. Which one do you want to be in? Do you want to be the one beating your chest on social media? I'm gonna do this. I can do this. I know this tactic. I know that tactic. Or are you gonna be the person who just goes out, gets websites, uploads things, do do the necessary things that you have to do to really get the ball rolling? And you'll see there's more people. Why there's less people at the top? Because there's not as many people willing to do it. It sounds easy. It sounds easy. It can be easy, but the thing is, people don't do it. People are not committed. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you have to have the belief. You have to have the belief before you have the. If you have the belief in yourself that you can do anything, then you are already ahead of the game. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you want to, I've been thinking about this today because you and I both know, in order for anybody to be successful, you have to start. You have to, if you really want to make, if you really want to make, if you really want to make the money that you want to make, the main thing that you need is a business, investing, creativity. You need all that, okay? And so, but before you get started, you want to look deep down into your soul before you buy the $1,000 product, the $2,500 product, the $10,000 product. Before you invest in that, in those things, you want to make sure that you have the utmost belief that, hey, this is gonna work. You can't say, man, I hope it works. Man, it might work. The language that you use with yourself is very important. You do not want to say, let's hope it works. I hope my car starts. No, my car is going to start. Okay. You want to, you know, you want to get out of the hope. The hope business is not the paying business. I thought about this today. I was driving my car, and I thought, God God meets people halfway. God makes sure everybody eats. Okay, God makes sure the birds eat. You eat, I eat. I know there's a thing. There's people claim there's hunger around the world, and I'm pretty sure that there is. But a lot of times, here in America, where I live, there's very few. There's very few. There's very few times that anybody's gonna go hungry. They have shelters. They have all kinds of places that you can go and get a meal. And so there's God feeds the animals. He feeds the humans. But people pray. They pray for money. They pray for this. They pray for that. But a lot of times, the reason why people do not get the money they're looking for is because they don't put in the work, the effort to say, look, look here, God. I am working towards something and I need all the assistance. Okay. And God will work with you and God will meet you, halfway. He's not gonna say, here's a boat, here's 2 million bucks, pal. Take it and run with it. No. The more you do for yourself, the more God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, will catch up with you. Okay. And that's not a theory, it's a fact. The more, you know, before I started recording this podcast, if I would have just kept saying, man, I'm thinking about doing this podcast, and I'm gonna start one day, and the first episode is gonna have 1 million downloads. Let me pray to God that I get 1 million downloads. If I would have prayed to God for 1 million downloads and never done a podcast, I'd never get one download. Okay, but I just told myself, we're gonna do what we got to do, and we're gonna start recording. And the 1 million downloads are out there. I just have to keep recording, and they will catch up. People will come. Like I told you before, they will come late to the party, but they will say, "Oh, this guy, he's a great success." But the work is already there. We've been at this 3 years now. And so it's not about me, but I'm just telling you that no matter what you do, no matter what you think, you have to have the full belief. I am going to do this. It's not about, man, maybe. It's not about should I, could I, would I. It's about, I'm going to do this, and I have the belief, because there's nobody that's just naturally born. The NBA player is born. Eventually they grow into 6'9", 6'10", 11, 6'6". But height height is a thing. It's like, all right, I've been blessed with height, but you have to put in the work in to make it to the NBA. You have to say, I am going to make it to the NBA, and you have to outwork a lot. Sometimes some people, if you're a role player, you have to outwork the people to stay on the team. If you are if you are the top 1% of the 1%, you know, yeah, you can roll the ball out, but if you want to stay on top for like 20 years, like let's say like a LeBron James, then you have to work at it every day. You have to make it your thing, okay? And so you have to have the belief that, hey, I can do this. And so for you, you have to have that belief. It's not about, oh, maybe, I'm thinking, hopefully, should I, could I. It's about doing it. Okay. Now, what's wrong with this thing? Ladies and gents, I am. There we go. All right. Now are we still recording? Ladies and gents, that's the most annoying thing about this new setup. Okay. The most annoying thing about this new setup is I use Spotify, which Spotify is cool. And then they have this Riverside app. And so just like now, I'm recording and it done went to a whole new screen. There we go. We are back. This is very annoying. I'm giving you a play by play. I'm giving you a play by play. You know what it is? I have to this week they have a thing that you can pay for, a monthly a monthly thing where you do videos, and you can do videos, you can do all this stuff, all this cool stuff, which I just haven't. I've just been cheap and have not forked over the money, but I'm gonna fork over the money because I need to turn my podcast into like audio notes. I mean notes, written word and videos and all that stuff. So, I just been lazy about that. But this week we're gonna take care of that. But so, ladies and gentlemen, you want to have the full blown belief. And now, one thing that you know, um, another thing that I will say before we end this show, and so sometimes you know who you are is who you are. Okay, and so I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he went to this he went to this he went to this jazz thing here in Atlanta. This, like, you go to the museum and you listen to jazz music. And my friend is not he's not a fan of the jazz music. I like jazz music. I like listening to jazz music, but I don't really want to go out around a bunch of people and listen to jazz music. When I listen to jazz music, I like to be at home. I like to be in my car. I like to listen to it alone. I like to listen to it in solitude. I don't need to be. It would be cool if I could like go to a jazz concert and it'd be like two people in there maybe, but I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of people acting like they like jazz. You know what I mean? Like, I like it. I like to hear instruments. I like piano. I like the saxophone. I like hearing the guitar. I like to hear the instruments. I close my eyes sometimes and I listen. I hear different instruments. And so for me, that would be cool. But I'm like, I don't want to be around that many people. And my friend, he was telling me something. He said he was on a date, and so he said, she got these tickets for this jazz thing, and yeah, it was all right. He said, but the moment we went to this other place and they was playing music, that's the first time she smiled the whole night. And I said, why are you smiling now? You weren't smiling at listening to the jazz. And she's like, what? I love jazz. And he said, no, she don't. She just cosplaying like she's in the jazz. And he said, that's what's wrong with people now. People are so busy trying to pretend like they're an aristocrat and all this kind of nonsense. And I said, I thought to myself, that's pretty good. And I'll tell you that story because I knew somebody. They turned 40. They turned 40 years old. This was a few years ago. They turned 40, and I remember they told me, they said, I got to stop listening to hip hop and I got to start listening to jazz. I'm 40 now, and I said, I don't think you have to stop listening to anything that you don't want to. And it's not about what you. There's no formula for like when you get older what you should do. I am 45 years old, and every night I grew up playing video games. I do not play video games as much as I used to, but every now and then I get the itch. I turn on my brother gave me a Nintendo. Every now and then I turn on the Nintendo and I'll play a game of Punch Out or Tecmo Bowl, something like that. It's not a big deal. I don't do it every day. I don't have the time. I have a 2-year old, soon to be 3-year old. The baby, when the baby gets older, maybe I'll get into a little more, video games, back into it. But, you know, I stopped playing video games a while ago. I still every now and then, whip it out and play it. But I'm not ashamed to say, oh man, I would never play a video game. I'm too mature for that. And so it's like you are who you are. If there are certain things that you like, then you're just gonna like them. Me and my wife knows this. I enjoy the Three Stooges. I laugh, I chuckle at the Three Stooges. My brother every Saturday now he texts me on. He watches Me TV. He watches Me TV, and every Saturday at 5 o'clock for 2 hours he will watch the Three Stooges, and he will text me. He'll say, "Watching the Stooges," and I go, "Cool," and I go, "You know what? I record some. I have all the Three Stooges DVDs in my house, so I don't have to really watch them on MeTV. But every now and then I would get out and I watch Three Stooges, and my wife would say, "Look at you over there, just cracking up. Ain't you seen this stuff before?" And I go, "Sure have," and I'm still laughing, And so I like what I like. I am who I am. It doesn't matter how much money I make. It doesn't matter how much money I'm gonna get. In the future, I'm going to be who I'm going to be. And so, ladies and gentlemen, just because you get to a certain age, to a certain status in life, does not mean you have to all of a sudden go to wineries or listen to jazz or start going to the orchestra. Like, I think the symphony is cool myself. And I've always thought that even when I didn't have two nickels to rub together, I thought, man, it'd be cool to go to a symphony, here and there, and you know, because I like, as I told you, I like instruments, and I like, the solitude of the instruments because you don't have to hear so much, so many words, so much, so much talking. But that's just me. And so you like what you like, and don't let do not let money or do not let age or do not let who you are around, change who you are. When my wife knows this. Millionaire, no millionaire. One of my favorite restaurants is always gonna be the Waffle House. Okay. I love it. I like the All-Star special. I like going with my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my nephew when they come visit. Anytime they come visit, we always make a trip to the Waffle House. I like taking my daughter every now and then. Every now and then, maybe once a year, my wife will just go, you know what, I'll go with you, okay? And so I enjoy it. And that's just me. And so it does not matter what you become, it does not matter who you are. Whatever you like, ladies and gents, do not be ashamed of it. Enjoy it. And then whenever you make more money, you will be able to spend more time on it. I enjoy, my wife was watching some TV show at 2 o'clock in the morning the other day. And she had the TV up loud, and I could not go to sleep. And I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna watch Eddie Griffin. And 2 o'clock in the morning, ladies and gents, I was watching Eddie Griffin. 2 o'clock in the morning. And you know what? I was cracking up. I was enjoying myself. I had a good time. Um, I'm always gonna be, no matter where I go, no matter what I am, I'm always gonna um be a person who enjoys, you know, the things that I enjoy. And that's just the way it is. And ladies and gentlemen, you should be the same way, okay? But so, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We will be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast. Go on Spotify. Ladies and gents, we need over 100 people to subscribe to Spotify. Um, we need you. We need you to go to YouTube and subscribe. We need y'all to go and subscribe and download and listen to the greatest show in the galaxy. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we will leave all the information below. Check it out. But until tomorrow, my name is Tony Rosano. Thank you for listening. God bless each and every one of you. And as always, everybody, peace.